We are getting ready for batch 2 of the Let's Play for COMP3218 at the University of Southampton. I'm Adrian Chapman. I'm here with 2 colleagues.
So my name's Dave Millard. I'm one of the lecturers on the course.
And I'm Tom Blount. I'm another lecturer on the course.
Okay, so Tom, do you want to say a little bit about what we asked them to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So for this coursework, we asked our students to produce a small game prototype that had an interesting core dynamic, and we asked them to produce either a tutorial level or some other way of teaching the player how to play their game and how to sort of use that dynamic.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've got 3 videos, 3 games to look at in this video. So we're going to have a look at our first one here. So we asked them to hand in a WebGL version, so that's what we're going to try and load. So what's this first game called?
Unfortunately, it says game title.
I think I've got an idea this might actually be called game title.
Excellent, I can't wait.
Although it says Amber Platform down there. Oh,
There it is, there we go, game title. Interesting.
So let's maximise this up and sort of see where we get to. Right.
I love the little character.
That's quite a cute little animation, isn't it? So I've got exit, level select, or start. So presumably...
Let's just go straight on and start.
That's
your
interesting.
mouse is,
My mouse disappears when it enters the game space.
Okay, that's not ideal.
Oh! Have they taught us something already? What do you use to move the little guy?
So just arrow keys left and right, and then I've got a jump. So presumably, shall I just walk off that side? No, jump up there.
So this is a cool little a cool little interface, but given that you're now teaching us the controls for how to move the robot, and we have to have moved the robot to get to this stage.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
What did D do?
D just moves you right.
Okay.
So in fact, I didn't even use that. So obviously you got the WASD keys, but I went for the arrow keys. Okay. Oh, well, that seems to have. All right. So W or so that's the jump. So that's nice. So
again, it's nice that they force you to use it before you can proceed with the tutorial level. But we've had to have done that already just to load the game.
In fact, it's actually a shame, because if you hadn't had that title, this is really nice, right? They're kind of like, there's nothing, you can't do anything else with it, so you run up to it. Okay, no, I understand. So, okay, still seem to be able to jump. All right, so like a lot of these platforms, it still feels floaty. It's not quite clear. So if I jump and move, there's just a delay. So I can move in space, but there's a delay to what I'm doing. So
can you jump over that?
So I can't jump over that. So my guess is that something over here gets rid of it, or
that looks like a switch.
And it's
gone.
So I like that in a sense, because obviously they've encouraged us to do it, but because it wasn't on screen when the switch toggled, it wasn't as clear as it should have been that it's disappeared. I mean, it's simple enough that it's fairly obvious, but there's a thing there. I don't know what that is.
It's sort of checkpoint, maybe?
Activates, So, this is quite nice. So presumably, if I jump down there, I can't get back.
So gating the player.
So I've got a kind of a gate there, which is good. As a switch.
And now you're trapped in there. So you press R to restart.
And now I'm back
and you're
here.
back at that checkpoint. I think I vaguely remember talking to them during one of the labs about this. So they sort of force you to learn that you can also restart, and that puts you back at the checkpoint.
And the level state,
So you learn both how you can quickly restart and how to, and the fact that these things are checkpoints.
Oop. That was a bit strange.
Perhaps it was teaching you that you have to jump on the bottom of this. Or it was a bug.
Oh, okay.
So again, reminding you that
that's nice, actually.
I mean, it seems like a bit of an extra unneeded step, because once you're down here, you're stuck. So why not just put a trigger down there that puts me back at the checkpoint? Unless that's a mechanic that becomes important.
So again, the controls are just quite tricky. Nice. Oh, Alright, so I need to jump and jump again. Let's give it a go. Oh, for goodness sake.
Oh, nearly.
Nearly. Again, it's that delay in the jump is the problem. Yeah. Oh, for goodness sake. So anything where you have precision jumping, having a delay on the jump is a real problem. And actually, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let someone else have a go at this, I think. Otherwise, we're gonna spend 10 minutes just watching me fail to jump off this platform.
Oh, that one was close though.
That was close.
Hooray!
Hey. Oh, okay. So I think.
And now you've got to do it again.
Oh, good.
You know, I do like the colouring and the design of the characters in the world. I mean, it's a very simple world, but they work together nicely. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a switch thing I have to fall through, but okay, so there's a switch down there which
leads you to a certain death.
Certain deaths. I shall try and jump across it.
But remember, previously we've seen a switch that the effects of the switch activate even after we die or restart.
So this is odd. So there's a switch there, but that's the end of the...
There was a barrier there, I think, that the switch toggled.
Ah, okay. So I didn't notice that.
So you had to die to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
so this is...
now we're being introduced to...
Run!
Run! Wait a minute.
Okay.
Did you fix it in some way?
I think the switch stops it firing.
So...
But it's difficult to tell because it happens off screen.
Yeah, I think this is a... There's some really nice things in here, and I think probably one of the big problems is that so much is happening off screen. But there's some nice nice touches actually. Oh,
now this, I was waiting for this to happen.
What's the sign above your
pause?
There's a pause sign. So I think I remember when I was talking to them when they were developing this game, they wanted one of the mechanics to include either time travel or time manipulation or something like that.
Indeed, the brief does say that you can pause time, or the
game notes.
Yeah. How are you accessing?
I've got no idea.
So that's the thing. It seems to just happen.
It just happens.
And because you can't control when it happens, you're just waiting for a random chance to be able to progress.
Yeah, that's actually quite irritating.
The idea of stopping time is cute, but you have to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And it's possible there is some way to control this, but they've not told us if there is.
Or helped us learn, which so far in their tutorial they've been very good about helping us learn.
And part of the problem is because it goes the wrong way. It would have, if it was spinning anti-clockwise, it would be a lot easier to progress.
Oh,
nice.
There we go.
But yeah, but pure chance. So, okay.
I almost wonder if this is some sort of bug, because it feels like this is not necessarily a useful mechanic to just randomly pause.
No, what does spacebar do again? Does spacebar jump?
No, I've just got the arrow key.
Oh, so we didn't have any controls in this one, did we? We just had.
We were just given.
Oops.
What happens if you hit spacebar when the pause button's up? Nothing. Okay.
Yeah, I've got no...
Hey, you did it, whatever you just did there.
Okay, so the bullets stop becoming harmful when it's paused, so you can stand on top of them.
That's quite fun.
So you can jump on top of that.
Yeah, there we go.
That's interesting. Again, no real indication of that though. We're just told these are bullets and bullets are bad. But
okay, so that looked like it was a...
I think you're going to have to press R to...
Press R.
Or is it going to let me get back up on that one?
Nope.
Alright, so... it didn't tell me that, but that's fine, because I thought of it's taught me that now, so... So doing these kind of little...
See, the fact that it keeps pausing intermittently like that means normally, like, waiting for one of these elevator platforms in a platform is frustrating at the best of times, but now that it pauses every 3 seconds...
Yes. Oh. So we go back up again.
I think you have to get off it before you hit the R.
Trying if it would take me back up to the top.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like in this game, isn't there? But there's just some odd things going on. And I'm wondering whether that pause idea is just a mechanic that's not working particularly well.
I say, if it was something that you could control and you had like a limited amount of it.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's
that
like,
would be a great game.
Here's your limited time stop power. Get through this level using it. So that's, again, it's kind of nice that you've got this sort of ability to sort of jump on bullets.
Yeah.
But A, they don't make for a great platform, and B, other than that previous like little bit of level, there's not been a lot of indication that bullets stop being deadly.
No. Spacebar. Ah.
Now you can control your time.
Why didn't you just do this right at the start?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It wasn't even that good a way to introduce the power if you're going to give us control over it later.
Oh, it's such a delay on it as well that you can't time it.
There we go.
There we are.
And then, yeah, it drains down.
You're right.
So so this is how it should have been introduced at the start.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that was quite a confusing way to introduce it, and actually having that ability to stop time with a slowdown, that's very good. Straight off the side.
So now you're doing the same puzzles again, but with more control over it, your ability.
So, for example, you could pause time while you're jumping as it starts sinking, if we were that coordinated.
So no, I still fall when time is paused.
But the platform won't when you land on it.
Yeah. There. Now, can you jump again?
Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of trying to give me an option to
either just jump, or pause, jump.
I'm gonna let Tom have a go. Do you want to have a quick crack at this?
All right, let's give it a go.
R to restart. There we go. Okay, well let's start going through. So in terms of quality,
you've got a hold space.
You've got a hold space. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually think the quality of this game is really nice. I like the graphics. I would wish for some sound. The character is adorable.
Yeah, it's nice and consistent, isn't it? It's got a good look to it.
Yeah, and it feels like it works together.
There we are. Oh, did you enjoy your game, Tom?
Oh, yeah, I did actually.
You want to try again?
What happens if you level select? What are the different levels in this?
I suspect it's just...
Yeah, so this is stage 1, stage 2.
2.
So, yeah, I mean,
stage
think
2 seems to be locked. Oh, maybe they just didn't finish that bit. Oh, okay, and then we've got...
all these different sections. That's quite nice as well, isn't it?
It'd be maybe nice if there was like just a sort of tiny overview thumbnail of the level, so I knew what 1.3 was.
These are the reset points. Yeah, reset points.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks good. Yeah, some sound, particularly for feedback, I think.
Yes.
I think people underestimate quite how useful it is to have some feedback. It's a really interesting set of mechanics. The whole pausing thing, just to restart the level, which is quite unusual. So the fact the level doesn't reset when you start.
That is actually kind of interesting. It's nice that that one they do actually tutorial really well, because they force you to go down that pit to hit the switch, then make you restart, and you can see that the switch has still been affected.
So in terms of the quality, I think it's definitely controllable. It's still got that slight problem of lag, which we talked about for a few of these games now, but it's not as bad.
For this one, it's all right. It's not a huge delay.
Yeah, it's still.
It's a little bit sticky, but mostly it's all right.
Yeah.
There we go.
So in terms of the tutorial then, we've kind of already said a bit about it, but there's some missteps. So the fact you have to go left and right and jump to start the level before you've even introduced it, and the fact that they've introduced the time stop thing too awkwardly, too slowly. Yeah. They should have just gone for it.
I have an inkling that it was a case of they did it with just the spacebar to start with, and then felt the game was too short. I felt they needed to sort of add an extra bit in the middle or something. Perhaps, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but actually, it works pretty well, and they've done a nice job. If you remember right at the beginning, they had those bits where you had to jump to progress. You had to kind of, you just had this one where you went right, and then you found the end one, and then you start the level again.
It's worth mentioning those prompts.
Okay.
Yes, they do. So maybe that's interesting. I don't know if that's just because I sort of got stuck here for a little bit that it says, okay, maybe you need a reminder.
Just put a delay on them coming up, maybe.
Which is a nice touch. Like, there's obviously some thought gone into there.
So what did they say was their core dynamic?
So spatial reasoning on this game.
Yep, I think that's.
I don't think there's
any issue with that. Yep,
I'm stuck here.
So have they done everything? So one of the things we've said, do all the mechanics pull in that direction? Is it all about spatial reasoning?
And I would say, apart from that middle bit, the whole bit where if you had the power to stop time right from the start, and you had to sort of, where you've got the swirly. I'm waving my hands around, even though it's fairly useless on YouTube.
Yes.
But when you've got that bit and you're just waiting for the sort of circumstance to line up that you can progress, that's not really spatial reasoning. That's just random chance.
That's true.
Yeah.
But again, that's that weird section where as you said, that middle bit where they're introducing the mechanic, and they just have an extra step that they didn't need to have. But yeah, I think it's really quite nice actually, and they have some complexity there. They have the switches, they have the moving pieces, they have the shooting, and it's all introduced pretty nicely as well. And it all makes sense. The shooting is a part of the puzzle element here, right? It's
you can step on the bullets,
particularly when you get that ability to sort of stop time and use them as a platform,
which is really quite cute. Absolutely. Okay, I think overall, I think a pretty good game. I've said a couple of missteps with the tutorial, but actually very nicely put together. Some really nice elements. Good job.
Yes, well done.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's go to our next game. What's the title of the next one?
Camel Carry.
Camel Carry.
It is a puzzle game.
So this is one I did have a chat about in the expo, and I'm interested to not the expo, in the labs rather, and it'd be interesting to see how this one did develop.
Okay. So again, I'm going to let Age launch this one.
How exciting!
So, actually, do we have a maximize?
Wow, that's cute. Look at There's no maximize on this.
Can I just let me see if I can get in a bit bigger. There we go.
I like the camel.
That is.
I like the music. It's nice.
That's very nicely put together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Well, I'm going to start at level 1.
That's a good idea.
Finally, you're here.
You're in trouble, my friend. The salt increases taxes. If you don't pay them daily, you will go to jail. Deliver goods to me at the market, and I'll make sure you are well paid.
Is this the first game that's actually had some sort of context and framing?
It is.
Just a little bit of story.
Just a premise.
Load the camel's chest by clicking on an item. I want to put a skull. Oh, I think
it's this umbrella that we've got here. So there's an 8 and a 20. Don't know what they mean yet.
This is your money goal for the day.
Okay.
So presumably that
20.
Yellow 20 means it's
Click
worth
on the
20.
camel when you're ready to deliver the goods.
Okay, so we need to get 20. We've loaded up 20's worth of gold. So let's click on the camel.
No, I'm clicking.
Oh, it's the chest that we have.
I love the camel sounds.
So I think 8 is the weight. This camel doesn't have a hump.
Fantastic.
All right.
It's super camel.
All right. So I'm still actually unsure about what the 18 and the 200 or the 8 and the 20 is, or where I get them.
Every item has a unique price and weight.
So the yellow number is the price, so that's what you can sell it for.
Okay.
The red number is the weight. Your camel can only carry a certain amount of stuff.
And now, how much do we know the camel can carry?
I don't know.
Click on the most expensive item.
But I think this might be about the tutorial, is it?
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go.
This
is
is
the total
weight.
chest weight. The heavier the weight, the slower Godzilla goes. Okay.
So it's
got
8.
So 18 out of 20 is
the weight. Okay.
So we have 30 seconds to get there. Try pressing space to set aside this one. So they're telling us a different control.
I love the camel.
It's a different control for the same thing.
Ah, and look how slow the camel is going.
So press R to restart.
Okay. I feel like maybe they could have just had a smaller timer for that, rather than making us press R.
Yeah.
So okay, so we know the umbrella will give us 20 gold.
Okay.
So so they've done a quite nice. They have introduced the mechanics though. So we've got 30 seconds to get the right amount of gold to market. We've got to wait. Crikey! All right.
Hot and cold items can't be.
Okay, so
good.
I'm optimizing to try to find a 12 and a 5 and see if we can get there in time.
So it's a shame there's no indication based on the weight of how long it will take.
What does this fast forward button do?
So I think I'll just speed up time a little bit.
Oh, that's quite nice.
I do like that. I mean, because we will make it. I just didn't want to sit for the camel to get there.
That is a very nice touch.
So that's 80.
Oh,
so
we
now,
still need to.
Now you need to load up the next 2.
Okay.
Need both of those.
There's no way we're going to get there in.
So you can
go. Run, camel, run!
Oh, I love the sad trombone. That's great.
Sad trombone, nice desert scene. That's great. So you can't. So do you just have to put them in quickly?
Or do we have to do 2 different trips?
But we have to.
That's going to be way too slow.
Way too slow. All right.
I reckon umbrella and ice cream. Or.
So, but they all add up to 150, right?
Yes.
So we need to carry all of them.
Yeah. So it's thinking about the order in which you do it.
So in actual fact, the challenge here is that you have to take everything, but you're.
But there we go.
So the optimization is how to do it
in the.
So it's a bit of a shame. That, oh no, it does pause when you get.
Come on!
So I was going to say it's really nice that so the timer ticks down as the camel's coming back, but as soon as it gets back, it pauses the timer
to let you fiddle with your buttons. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether you've got the speed on fast or fast forward. That's a really nice touch.
And it gets harder and harder. So
you've got 41 seconds.
All right.
You've got to get 200. So I guess try the. So the weight thing is interesting. So
it'd be nice if there was some indication of the camel will take this long.
Yeah.
This amount of stuff.
So if you go.
Because right now, it does spoil a little bit of the puzzle
just
element
50.
because we are just sort of randomly trying which things make it.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily get to sort of do the planning ahead of time and then get to it. But overall, I like it.
I like it a lot. Yeah. So I presume with those were the levels, were they?
All of them, yeah.
that was. I don't think so. That was just.
Yeah.
Oh, it was every levels. Yes, it was.
Elite person, right? Okay.
So
let's go through them. So what do we think about the quality here?
Quality overall is really nice. They've got some.
They've got great feedback. We've got the camel making funny noises. It's enjoyable, and the celebration at the end.
As the what's it called? The sort of speed control is a really nice little bit of polish.
Enjoy that.
That's an excellent touch. It would have been very easy to have the same game and not have that, but just including that is like a little extra bit.
And I would have stopped playing it because I would have been bored watching the camel and the slow ones.
And it has a nice level of complexity. That idea of having items you can't combine in the same space, as well as having the weight, and so
that's the thing. This was one of the things that we spoke about in the lab. Like their initial sort of like first idea of this was just, I don't remember exactly how it worked. They were talking about sort of like it needed that little bit extra. This idea of sort of like matching particular things in your camel's chest to actually sort of really feel like an actual puzzle game, and I think they've actually nailed that.
Yeah, I think the only feedback I'd want on the quality is. While playing the game and kind of watching that timer tick down, I had a hard time looking at the numbers. The red 5 being the point. In fact, I'm still confused. That's weight, isn't it? And then the gold is the pointage. And distinguishing between the two on the fly, I had a hard time with. I would have loved to see, something that weighs more be bigger, or something that costs more is bigger. Some kind of.
Some sort of bigger visualization.
Yeah, some different visualization between those two metrics to help me quickly assess them.
So there's definitely ways that this could be sort of extended. So one thing that I think would be really nice to sort of extend this with is to sort of have a real... So like if the umbrella had like a particular shape and the ice cubes had a particular shape and you had to sort of fit them like in the camel as well.
Yeah.
That would be really nice.
Although I love the hot cold thing of that. That's the beginning down that path.
It's that... So tutorial.
In terms of the tutorial, I actually think they did a very nice job in that we couldn't even start before you practice pressing the umbrella button and put it on your camel.
So this is going back to quality just for a second. This is one of the things that I think it's slightly weaker at. The timer seems to be very, very precise. Like even for when you sort of get the exact combination of items, or maybe we're just slightly bad at getting the exact combination. You sort of have to do it to the second.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if there was just a little bit more leeway.
So I'm trying to figure out as well how the weight correlates to the speed of the camel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it doesn't feel linear, right? So there's definitely a thing here where as you get closer to 20, it gets slower and slower and slower.
Mm.
So, but yeah, that it's quite hard to see that. And I'm wondering whether, rather than having 6 out of 20, what they actually need is some kind of some sort of shape or something, like I said, or seconds or something, which shows you to help you see the consequence. So you can imagine almost having like
maybe.
So if you had like a triangle down there and the proportional fill of the triangle or something.
Yeah.
So or something.
And that would help with my problem, both numbers as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe having seconds would make it a bit too easy because you could plan everything out at the start, and then it would just become a case of. So having that sort of a slight bit of ambiguity maybe isn't too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe some other representation for it.
Yeah. So. Okay, so.
But it's an interesting, as far as the core dynamic, as a packing problem, is really nice.
So what did they say the core dynamic was?
Well, actually, that's a very interesting question. They say it's a puzzle game.
Yes, definitely a puzzle game.
It is a puzzle game.
But I don't know if that is...
The core dynamic, well, they actually acknowledge that it's difficult to base on the core dynamic. Spatial reasoning is the one they feel they're closest to because they're trying to optimize weight and type and other limitations. And it's interesting because most of the spatial reasoning games tend to be a map or a maze or a thing. And but I do agree that this is a spatial reasoning game in that you're optimizing different components of what goes in space.
Like they'd be able to justify it and say, okay, well, it's not quite a spatial reasoning game. It's more like it's almost like a numbers reasoning game. It's more sort of like a logic puzzle than a spatial puzzle.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't begrudge them from sort of saying spatial.
Yeah. It just sort of it's off-putting a little bit with the packing because there's sort of partly a packing problem, partly an optimization problem. But and a really nice tutorial.
Yeah, I enjoyed the tutorial.
That gave you a bit of a reason, gave you some premise at the beginning, took you through it really nicely, introduced all the elements quite well. We were wondering a little bit in advance, so there were some things like, what do the numbers mean? So it may be that actually in some of those earlier stages, maybe they should have taken the weight away if it wasn't a consequence and then only introduced it later. Whereas it was on the screen and therefore we were like, what does the red number mean?
Yeah.
But that's my only niggle really. I think it's a really nicely put together little example. Yeah, very nice.
Well done.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, so our third game for this video. Let's get this up. So, what's the title?
Monster Truck Mayhem.
It sounds like it might be
That sounds exciting.
Sounds like it might be a slightly different pace to our...
And the core dynamic is destruction.
Oh, so this looks like another portrait game. So, I'll try and get it on the screen. Okay.
Right.
Has that worked or not?
Yeah,
it looks like it's cut a little bit.
Looks like it's cut.
Cut a little bit, you're right.
And
I'm going to need all the help I can get. So,
right.
I think I'm going to start with the tutorial.
Yeah. That seems like a good plan.
Well, use the arrow keys to move left and right.
Okay. So
I am trailing some serious pollution and exhaust behind me. Drive into other vehicles to destroy them. Why did I stop there?
Yeah, there was only a pause, wasn't
there? A little bit of lag, I think.
Okay. So I am the ruler of this road.
So this is interesting.
What happens if I sideways?
Try to avoid roadworks.
I can kill them from sideways as well. Roadworks. What happens if I run into roadworks? Let's try. Oops, that's not roadworks.
It's a shame that
it says they're expensive, but it doesn't really say what that means.
I game over if I run into...
It's a shame that the roadworks are moving at a different rate
speeds,
than the road.
Yeah.
And in fact, the animation of the truck makes it look like it's floating as well.
There's a little pause when certain... so my truck responds, but occasionally the road itself pauses. There glitches, exactly.
So it's interesting, because this could quite easily be sort of a collection.
You know, I really enjoy hitting them sideways.
They've gone with a monster truck theme, right?
But that's it, because they've themed it as this, because they've got that explosion, because they sort of have that little physics sort of jiggle when you slam into it from the side, it really does feel like a distraction game.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's this?
Looks like the police are chasing me.
Okay.
Nice. So we've got don't destroy anything while they're chasing you.
Oh, okay, I'll behave.
See,
I'm a great driver.
On the one hand, I like the fact that the screen's changed. It's really obvious that this is a different sort of stage of the game. But on the other hand, if your whole core dynamic is destruction, it feels weird for you to say stop destroying things for a bit.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? It is interesting.
I'm playing the real game now. Can I go in between? I can't.
Oh, what's happening to the cars?
What happened to that car? Did I do that?
Those cars are physics enabled and they're spawning on top of each other.
Yeah, that's what's going on. So the fact that the fact they're physics enabled does mean that when you hit them, you get a nice effect, particularly if you swipe them.
Yeah.
So if you swipe them, you get a really nice
swipe. There's a swipe.
That's great. In fact, they almost get destroyed too quickly.
And then
you can't enjoy the...
But why did I gain
the police showed up.
Oh, I missed the police
half a
completely.
Second before you... Well, I think you were already moving towards smashing that car. So it'd be nice if there was a little bit of delay on that as well.
Yes.
So you had a couple... even if they don't specifically tell you, there's a lot of design tricks you can do where you sort of give the player like a little moment of... respite. So Assassin's Creed famously does it when you get to very low health.
Yes.
Your tiny little bit more health lasts a lot longer than it should do. And you could have done something similar here with that timer on the police.
Just giving you a little bit of grace at the beginning. Yeah, absolutely.
Your time is going... Oh, I see. That's how long you've survived rather than...
Yes, seems to be.
And again, it seems kind of an unnecessary thing to include because...
Why have you got a score and a time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's peculiar, isn't it?
I kind of like the fact that the cars collide into each other and sort of...
Okay, so that's police now. I'm policing, aren't I?
Yep.
Alright, look, I'm behaving myself.
So the fact that the cars are spawning on top of each other is actually making this police section really hard.
It was very difficult. I will also say, and it might just be my vision, that I had a hard time distinguishing when the police weren't. It got very dark and...
I think part of the problem is there's obviously no sound. And I think that's...
having that police siren sound effect
would
really help.
It just shows you that getting that kind of feedback, that...
Look at them go. See, that's it. Imagine if the police had shown up there was no way to get through that without destroying something.
Also, the controls are... so, I'm trying to figure out whether they are set to a lane. So,
yes, I could not go in the middles.
So and it looks like this is designed for a mobile build, in that case, you actually went under that, clean under that car.
Clean under it.
But if it's a mobile game, you just sort of like left and right tapping. Like I think there's sort of just switching.
Police are here.
To another
See, there's something about the way that happens that it's hard to distinguish the police are there, even though the colours are flashing.
So like now,
there was no way to get through it,
which is a shame.
Which means the level design doesn't really mesh very well with the mechanics.
Okay, let's go through it. So in terms of the quality, there's definitely some things to like. I think the kind of the look and feel is nice and consistent. I think using the 3D models and having them physics enabled gives you a bit of satisfaction when you smash into them.
And the spinning cars.
that all kind of works. I think the fact there's no sound means that there's a problem with feedback. And again, it makes actually smashing things less satisfying when they don't explode, with a noise. And it makes the police bit. Although it's very obvious when you're playing it, it's not obvious.
Yeah.
When you're actually concentrating,
tunnel vision on the top half of the screen.
And suddenly the fact that it's flashing doesn't actually register quite as much. So I think that's an interesting issue. Any other comments on the quality? The controls seem okay.
The controls are fine. The glitch gets me occasionally.
Just that little
pause in there that happens.
Almost, I wonder if it's something to do with the scrolling of the road or something like that. The way they're handling
or just the way they're loading assets in the web build.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so the tutorial part. Yeah, that's harsh.
Tutorial part is, I think the tutorial is alright. So we've seen sort of endless racer games like this where the tutorial's been at the bottom, and this time they put it in the bit of the screen that we're definitely looking at.
Yes,
which I think was really good.
Yeah.
Also, the text was a lot sort of bigger and clearer to read as well.
It was.
Yeah.
They also introduced. They were very clear about introducing the tutorials, and you had to pay attention to what was happening on the screen. So it couldn't be that you missed what they were actually directing you.
So I was going to say, could we just
go back to the tutorial?
Yeah, just go through the tutorial one more time.
Okay. So, because they introduce it nice and gradually, right?
Very
so
gradually.
Start off.
But I want to see if you don't move for now, for example, do they move on to the next bit of the tutorial, or do they wait?
It does look
so they don't wait.
They don't wait.
But it does give you a much longer sort of time to sort of try it.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice if they'd sort of waited to.
And they introduce but they give you a bit of blank road to learn to move. Then they introduce some basic cars for you to smash.
Then they introduce the
roadworks.
Oh, they're explosive, not expensive. Okay, explosive roadworks.
There we go. So I think this tutorial is pretty decent.
I do too.
I mean, it could be.
Oh.
So again, that punishes you. So if you hit restart tutorial, you go right back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And given that there are 2 bits in this tutorial where you can fail and lose, it would be nice if there were checkpoints there. Yeah,
it would be. Okay, and how did they get on in terms of their core dynamic? We said they said it was...
The core dynamic was destruction.
Okay, which is...
Yeah.
I think it's mostly good. I really don't like the fact that the police aspect of it. I think that really grates on the...
I think so.
Yeah, well, I mean, if the core dynamic is destruction, there's a whole section of the game where you have to stop destroying.
That is true.
If I destroy something now, I lose the game.
Yeah.
And if my core dynamic is destruction, that's not what you want.
But then again, you could argue that your overall objective is to destroy as many things as you can. So you're trying to kind of get to that point.
Yes.
By getting through this section. Watch out for the traps they set to catch you. Oh, I see.
But why not?
Yeah.
I mean, why not, for example, when the police are after me, let me smash through roadworks and barricades and things like that.
And try to escape. Yeah, you're right. So it'd be actually more interesting to actually be being pursued and to have more active roadblocks and things like that happening.
Okay, so I think overall they've done a good job, but that bit really does great for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Nice game. I think that was our final one, wasn't it?
That was our final game for this match.
So we will be back shortly with another video. Thank you.